Did I ever tell you about the time my friend Bob Worldbuilder tried to murder my character? I'm going to let Bob tell his side of the story. Today, we're going to talk about how to handle player versus player combat on Dungeon Craft. Welcome to Dungeon Craft. I'm Professor DM, and this channel is about all things role-playing games, and you are?
I am Bob, Worldbuilder.
And I'm Deathbringer. Like, subscribe, and sign up for the Deathbringer RPG newsletter.
Before I forget, I'm going to be at GenCon doing some seminars. Deathbringer will have a sneak peek at my own role-playing game. Less exposition, more demolition, and how to run a kick-ass YouTube channel. That's with Baron DeRop. I'm looking forward to that and meeting you. So I'm joined today by Bob Worldbuilder, and we're going to touch on player versus player combat, and then answer a bunch of your questions that you have posed for Bob. How you doing today, Bob?
I'm great. Yeah. How are you?
Okay, let's talk about the time you tried to murder my character.
Okay.
Why, Mr. Nice Guy, did you try to kill me?
Because that was the intention of the game. Yeah, one time, Professor and I, and Grace World Destroyer, and there was one or two other players there, got to do a little demo of a competitive fantasy game where we were wizards trapped in a maze-like environment, and the goal was for one of us to survive. I think that was the plan, or were we all after something?
I don't remember. I do remember. I don't think killing each other was a requirement.
Okay, but we specifically had a bunch of spells to try to. Oh yeah, there were monsters we were fighting too.
Yeah.
We weren't just fighting each other. But yeah, from what I remember, killing each other is sort of what it came down to at the end. And so that was the idea. That's why I had to kill your character. But I think I failed, and I ended up dying, right? Or you and I.
I definitely ended up.
And I think Grace won.
I think Grace World Destroyer killed me and then killed you.
Yeah.
So she killed us both.
Yep.
How do you feel about player versus player in your regular games?
It kind of depends on the nature of it and the intention, right? Like, usually in my games, it's like the most recent one I can even think of is, this person found a bunch of treasure and I want to try to like steal some of their stuff. And then the way I do that is I let the defending player, the one who's like being attacked in some way, they just get to decide what happens. So instead of like and they can even choose, we can still just roll for, they have to make a stealth check, but they just kind of get to be the GM for a moment and decide how that player gets to be offensive toward them, if at all. It could be, the funny thing about that example was how a player was like, if they try to steal the gold out of my pocket, that's where I keep my loose razor blades. And it was like, so I think we ended up doing something different, but we just kind of, make a joke out of it and try to keep it light so any PvP doesn't become, we keep it character versus character, not player versus player, basically.
I love that idea, and I have done player versus player in my scenario Cloak House, which I designed for Eldritch Hack, which is a lot of fun. And it's designed as a one-shot, so you're really not losing your long-running character. And Paranoia is a game built on player versus player combat, and that can be a lot of fun. But in a long-running game, probably not a good idea.
It's not you don't want to make a habit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it seldom goes well. I've lost more players with player versus player combat than said, wow, I had a great time. Somehow it always ends up miserable. Unless, again, it is a one-shot.
And now a word from our sponsor, Troll Lord Games.
It is official. Troll Lord Games is building our very own print shop and warehouse. In addition to expanding Troll Lord Games operations, we are so excited to be bringing our printing services to any industry publishers that might be looking for a local, reliable, environmentally friendly way to get their books printed. Starting July 16th, we're partnering with BackerKit to bring you an easy, seamless way to leave your mark on TLG's legacy forever. This effort would not have been possible without the support of this incredible community, and we want to be reminded of that every time we step foot into our new facility. So, you'll be able to purchase a brick engraved with your name, which will line the walkway leading up to the entry of the building. You can have your name added to the wall of names in the interior of the entryway. Or you can have your very own native Arkansan tree planted in a grove that we have planned behind the print shop, along with a plaque featuring your name. You can find us on BackerKit right now under the campaign name TLG the factory. Trollza!
I'm buying a brick, and now you can too with the link below.
We're going to throw a bunch of questions at you super fast. So
Okay.
Bob, do you build worlds faster or slower than Grace World Destroyer destroys worlds?
I probably build them faster than she destroys them. It's a long and slow death with Grace World Destroyer.
Do you consider yourself a druid or a ranger?
Ranger first.
Have you ever played Castles and Crusades? Because you played DCC.
I have not.
It's a good game, by the way. Dungeon Crawl Classics has a whole section on never running monsters straight out of the book. Do you have a favorite monster you've homebrewed?
In my own DCC compatible supplement called Scrim, there is a table in there that I use all the time. It's really just a bunch of lists of like adjectives or descriptive terms, and I randomly will roll 2 words for each monster, and that can fully reflavor and sometimes like change the mechanics of how a monster is going to work.
I just want to mention Dungeon Denizens from Dungeon Crawl Classics is out now, and one of my homebrew monsters is now an official monster. It's in there. Stat blocks for the unfamiliar, which is what you get when you summon a familiar, but it really goes wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point. I have a monster in there as well. That's called the Nesufti, and it's a little sort of like a homunculus, but specifically made by a vampire. And it's a creepy little guy. You'll read it to find out.
Bob, would you give Professor Dungeon Master a hug?
Sure. We've hugged before, but never on camera.
Which system do you think has the best chance of overtaking Dungeons and Dragons? And will it happen?
Yeah, I would say if they specifically say system, it won't happen. If we're just saying like game, then yeah, my answer to that is something like Baldur's Gate 3 or 4 or whatever is more popular, and it's basically D&D. So yeah.
How do you maintain consistency with developing content topics, recording outdoor hiking and editing? It's funny because we discussed that last night.
Yeah, that's what we talked about for hours yesterday. And the short answer is, yeah, just forcing yourself to stick to a schedule and to be consistent is really important, because if you try to be too loose about it, then, I don't know, at least for me, then like I have to make it a habit and like force myself to have that discipline. Otherwise, it will like fall by the wayside. So yes, sort of scheduling out. Today I will do this part of it, break it into small tasks. Today I'll write the script. Tomorrow I'll edit the script a little bit, try to film it. The next day I'm editing and doing the graphics. The final day it's finishing up editing, thumbnail, and that sort of thing. So break it up into smaller, more manageable things, like any other task you have to do. And then you do it again the next week, and the next week forever.
It's exactly the same way I do it.
Yeah.
Tell them how much you hate editing.
It stinks after like 3 hours. Like an average video that's like 10 minutes long might be like 10 hours of editing for me. And that stinks. I don't like doing it.
Not really a question so much as wanting to see him on a John McEnroe rage bender. He's so calm all the time. I can't picture him angry at all. I don't know. Do you get angry?
I can't think of the last time I was really, well, I was gonna say, not really angry about something, but one of the things we were just talking about was how my video next week, maybe it's already come out by the time you're seeing this, was just me being like really frustrated about something, but I don't want to spoil what it was, so you'll see me talking about that soon.
I'm filled with rage, and it gets pent up.
Okay.
And I suppress it until it explodes.
Okay.
And you've never seen it, but my children have. This is from someone called Sly Flourish.
Yeah.
Given the asymmetric dominance of YouTube and the struggle of creators to remain relevant through tricks like YouTube thumbnail hijinks and algorithmic rage baiting, what is your potential escape hatch from this dysfunctional relationship?
Yeah, it's Kickstarter. You that's what everybody's goal is, I think, is you have your YouTube channel and then you make a book and then hopefully you can sell that book or make more Kickstarter. It's the Colville path that was set out before us, right? He had a successful YouTube channel for a couple years. I mean, it still does, of course. And then eventually started leaning on writing more, so he leaned on thumbnails never. That'd be the goal, I guess.
How would you fix the 2024 Ranger?
I'd play a different class, I guess.
Ooh.
I don't know. I want a ranger to have like some kind of option of a companion, to be good at all the exploration things that aren't really important in 5e. So that's the real thing, is like the thing the Ranger is really good at doesn't matter a lot in that game. Exploration, and I'm kind of forgetting what like the third thing is. Maybe the Ranger, it's just also like being a pretty good fighter type, because that's the Aragorn stuff.
If you were a lead designer for 6e, how would it differ from 5e?
Fewer classes is the first thing that comes to mind, because I really think it's like so many of them have so much overlap with each other. Fewer feats and fewer spells.
What conventions are you going to this year?
I will be at PAX Unplugged in November, and before that I will be at PGX. That's the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo in October. Very beginning of 2026. Page.
We're gonna go, yeah.
Philadelphia area gaming.
Philadelphia, yeah, that's a good one. Are you gonna be doing Green Dragon Fest again, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that later 2026. Yeah.
How do you get such luxurious hair?
Step 1, don't cut it. Step 2, I'm honestly trying this thing where this is almost embarrassing, where I like barely wash it. Like I'll just use like water and like don't use like shampoo and conditioner and stuff, because when I used to put more stuff in it that they tell you to put in it, then I felt like it looked bad.
One more question. How did you land Chris World Destroyer?
Tinder. And then I was just talking to your wife about this morning. She asked how we met. We were met on Tinder, did not have anything about role-playing games in our profiles or whatever, but in our first date it came up, and then we say the rest was history.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, Bob. And where can we find you?
At Bob World Builder on YouTube.com. And Patreon and stuff if you feel like supporting me, but this is his channel, so support him.
Yeah, you can drop comments below, and also find a link to my Patreon below, where I will continue this conversation where I ask him much more meaner questions. I'm saving them for the bonus content.
Yeah, we were scrolling past some things here.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him. And don't forget to sign up for the Deathbringer newsletter, because we're gonna have that coming out soon. And thanks so much for stopping by. May all your rolls be 20s, and
keep building.
For more of Professor DM and his hippie friend, click on the Lost City. Go on, click it.